俺の名はドン・キホーテ・ドフラミンゴ。
What's going on, Nerds and Bandits? It's Noel of Nerd Culture United, back at it again with another video. And for today's topic, we'll be talking about what if Doflamingo was in Attack on Titan. And if my future sight is working, it's telling me that you'll enjoy this video. So please, hit that like button, subscribe to the NCU channel, and turn on post notifications to stay up to date whenever I upload. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into the real reason why you clicked on this video. Doflamingo? Attack on Titan? Let's talk about it. So before we start, I want to let everyone know that this isn't a power scaling video. I'm not going to talk about how long Doflamingo would last in the AOT universe based on strength and abilities, no. This video is me taking the character and seeing how they would act in a new world based on how they were written in their respective story. With that being said, let me give you a quick rundown on Doflamingo. Minor spoilers ahead for his backstory if you haven't watched One Piece yet or aren't past Dressrosa. Doflamingo was born a noble amongst the celestial dragons and lived a very spoiled life. His father decided to take his family and abandon Marie Joie to live amongst the common folk. Doflamingo didn't like having his lovely lifestyle taken away from him, nor did the common folk want them there either. So they attacked him and his family and wanted to show them the pain that they've been feeling for years caused by the celestial dragons. Before any further damage could happen, Doflamingo unleashed his conqueror's haki and swore vengeance on all of the commoners. After escaping and meeting up with Treble, he took it upon himself to take out his father in order to regain his status as a world noble. Having only his brother as his last blood relative, Doflamingo decided to rebuild his family, dubbed the Don Quixote family with the help of Treble, made a name for himself as a pirate, becoming one of the 7 warlords of the sea, and even running the factories that create the Smile Devil Fruits, a man-made devil fruit that Kaido wanted in order to grow his army. Doflamingo was very arrogant, prideful, and manipulative when it comes to his personality. He enjoys playing around with the freedom of people and believes that having power means that you can do whatever you want since nobody can oppose you. This was especially evident with how he ran Dressrosa, putting people in a coliseum to fight and turning the looters into toys, as well as making those toys and dwarves work in those factories. The people connected to the ones who got turned into the toys forgot who they were, which added another level of manipulation, though this was not due to his own ability. He fears very few people, other than Kaido, who he's in business with, and the only time we see him visibly shaken outside of battle was when he was having nightmares about his childhood amongst the commoners. Now that his backstory has been broken down a bit, I want to talk about how I would implement him into the Attack on Titan universe that will make sense as well as could possibly elevate the story. So for starters, I will start out with his childhood and make him part Eldian. In order to achieve this, his parents would have to follow the same path as Reiner's. He would have an Eldian father and a Marleyan mother. To achieve the royalty aspect of his character, I would make his father be related to Dina Fritz, who is also known as Zeke's mother and more famously known as the Smiling Titan. Dina and the newly added brother would be close to the same age in order not to have too much of an age gap between Doflamingo and Zeke. Nevertheless, after Zeke snitches on his parents for being a part of the Restorationists, Dina's brother would go into hiding, keeping his royal blood a secret. Of course, Dina wouldn't give out her brother's identity, but even with that, his fate still would end the same as hers. One night, Doflamingo wakes up in the middle of the night to hear his mother and father talking. His father brings up how his sister was just taken to Paradis and that he's worried that he may be next. This would send Doflamingo into a panic because not only will he realize that his life is a lie, being that he is not fully Marleyan, but that he may now suffer the same fate as the rest of the Eldians. To protect himself, he does the same thing as Zeke and tells on his parents, not for being restorationists, but for having a marriage that wasn't allowed. I originally wanted to have Doflamingo pull the trigger like he did in One Piece, but I also don't believe that his mother in this situation would have owned any weapons, so following the path of Zeke made more sense. After getting his parents taken away, whether it be getting them sent to Paradis or taken out right then and there, Doflamingo would have been taken under the care of Marley, where he would spend most of his time in the library learning about the past of both Eldia and Marley. Before long, Doflamingo would be adopted and raised by the Tiber family. Not only would this give Doflamingo a new family that are in a position of power, but he would also gain the power of the Warhammer Titan. I believe that this would be more suitable in his hands because of the creativity that he had in One Piece with the string fruit, and the way he could attack would be amazing. Also, with the knowledge that he has and the knowledge he would gain from Willie Tiber about the truth on Paradis Island and how the war truly ended, he would still keep his god complex and do what he could to rise to the top like he did in One Piece. During the time that the warriors, consisting of Reiner, Annie, Baratot, and Marcel, get sent to Paradis, Doflamingo would take a secret boat there to learn more about the island and see if he could obtain the Founding Titan. Considering that in One Piece he was able to blackmail the nobles and world government to let the world know that he resigned from the 7 warlords, he would probably blackmail the Marleyan government by letting the people of Paradis know the truth about what's outside of the walls. On his search for the Founding Titan, as well as during the attack on Shigashina, he witnesses Grisha's attack titan destroying the chapel as well as Rod Reese running away. Before he could truly escape, Doflamingo captures Rod and gets him to spill the beans on everything that just happened. Outside of getting the information that the founder was taken, as well as the person who took the founder being from outside of the walls, he gets a hold of some iceburst crystal that was in the cavern of the chapel. Doflamingo goes home and analyzes the crystal, not knowing what it could be used for until Zeke delivers the ODM gear back to Marley. After realizing that the gas that is used in the ODM gear came from the crystal, Doflamingo concocts a plan in order to take over Paradis in order to gain control of the iceburst crystal. This brings some similarities to him creating the smile fruits, because he will be using the iceburst crystals to make weapons, which he could sell to other countries for war. I really believe this would happen considering the fact that the Azambitsu clan mainly helped Paradis progress in technology in order to gain access to the iceburst crystal. The rest of Attack on Titan goes on as usual up until the attack on Marley in Season 4. Instead of Laura being the one to fight Eren, it would be Doflamingo. Another key difference to this would be that Eren would not obtain the Warhammer Titan after their battle. With the Warhammer being the final Titan that we knew about, as well as barely getting to see any screen time of outside of the original fight, I would have wanted to give it more time and development. I also would have done this because outside of Willie Tiber giving his speech on why they should attack Paradis, Doflamingo giving a major speech and a definitive declaration of war would unite the world against Paradis, considering the attack on Marley and the capture of Zeke. Knowing Dofi though, he would have caught on to the plan that Zeke and Eren were creating and would have made sure to be one step ahead. Season 4 continues as it did back on Paradis, with the exception that Eren's escape from prison would be different. Before Pete can point at Eren to say that he is the enemy, Doflamingo flies in, turning into the Warhammer Titan. Round 2 between Eren and Doflamingo occurs, while Reiner and Porco would have been dealing with Zeke. I would have had Zeke show up earlier than he did in order to set up this battle, and not only would have kept Porco busy trying to get closer since Zeke was playing the long range game, but also it would have given Reiner the definitive round 2 he was looking for after his first loss. The battle between Eren and Doflamingo continues on until Doflamingo gets the upper hand on Eren. Eventually, Doflamingo will force Eren out of his Titan, and within the second he gets out, Doflamingo would press him in order to come in contact with him to utilize the Founding Titan. Just like his battle against Law in One Piece, he likes to watch his enemies suffer, and Eren not having a way to break the outer shell of the Warhammer Titan crystal would mean that Doflamingo would definitely have the advantage. Once in the paths, Doflamingo will go searching for Ymir in order to utilize her power. With Doflamingo knowing about Eren and Zeke's plan, he would probably think that he could mentally overpower Eren and enforce his will so that the Founding Titan does what he wants, similar to how Zeke wanted his plan to be above Eren's. Doflamingo would have most likely sent the Rumbling to destroy Paradis, not only to show his loyalty towards Marley, but also realizing that Eren's emotions would have made him fight more sloppy, and would have made it easier to defeat him and take the Founding and Attack Titan for himself. This would have let him then control the Rumbling afterwards, and then having that power would have allowed him to be the most powerful person in the world. Unfortunately though, being part Marleyan wouldn't come to haunt Doflamingo, as Ymir wouldn't show. Getting frustrated and confused because it seems like his plan is falling apart, Eren emerges and shows him the future that is going to happen. All Doflamingo could do is his iconic laugh, realizing that he lost, and the new era of the world is upon them. They exit the past, and Eren and Doflamingo transform into their Titan forms once more. As they battle again, Porco, the Jaw Titan, shows up to get a sneak attack on Eren, which, just like what happened in the original story, he gets caught and used to break through Doflamingo's shell, thus gaining the Warhammer Titan. The rest of AOT would continue as it did, with Eren and Reiner fighting and Eren using the Warhammer Titan abilities, and the rest of the story continuing as it did. And that's where I see Doflamingo's story ending. I think he would add a great level of intrigue to the story, considering how his character was written, and combining that element with the story of Attack on Titan will bring it to new heights. With that being said, thank you all for tuning into this video. Let me know what you think about Doflamingo being in Attack on Titan, as well as what other changes you think would have happened in the story. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share with a friend who you think would enjoy this type of content. Thank you again for watching this video until the end, and I'll see you all on the next one.